The reason you're struggling to win games right now in Madden 26 is because you don't know enough secret tricks that only the top 1% of players actually know and can execute correctly. Luckily for you, in this video, I'm breaking down 5 secret pro tricks that if you actually start implementing in your next game, you're going to see your win rate increase by over 94%. If you want to know how to stop halfback direct snap or want to start throwing more touchdowns, this is the perfect video for you, so don't skip out on anything that I have. Let's jump right into it. The first secret that every good player has down pat is using the best settings. Let me show you the best ones to use right now. Alright, so we're going to go through settings on both sides of the ball here, but we're going to come into options, we're going to come into settings, we're going to come into game options. Now, these are going to be your passing settings. You need to make sure you have the right freeform passing settings so that your passes are accurate. Alright, placement and accuracy, pass lead increase on small, reticle speed on anything in between 5 and 20. I would play around with it, see which one kind of fits your play style the best, and really what you feel the most comfortable with, because you really want to be able to get these passes out in front of these receivers. So let's see if I can give you an example here. We're going to take the snap and we're going to throw this ball to Coastin Love. And you see how he doesn't have to, turn his back or like slow down to catch that ball. The ball's already out in front of him and he's able to just go through and turn that into a big gain. Same thing here, we go through it again, where, we're able to freeform that pass out in front of him, and he's able to catch it in stride. We'll see if, I can throw one kind of behind him here. But we're going to notice how right there, that's another great example of Roman Doomsday being able to catch that ball out in stride, out in front of him, and turn into a big gain simply because that ball is not behind the guy. Right? I mean, just look at the difference. I mean, you haven't seen necessarily me throw one behind the guy, but it's like, just look at the difference in between how many yards he can pick up after, because he's not having to slow down. Right here, they're going to run man coverage, and this should be a good example of this, because what I'm going to do, all right, so what you're going to see right here is I'm going to take this snap and I'm going to try to throw this pass to Burden, but the ball is going to be behind the guy to where he has to turn around and actually, jump up to catch the ball. Like, it's just slowing him down entirely. Whereas if you try to freeform that pass, right, we put Burden on that same corner out, and he's going to be able to create separation because we're able to freeform that pass out in front of him, and he doesn't have to turn around to catch the ball. So really, bottom line here with freeform passing, you're holding left trigger to actually freeform. That's what's going to allow you to get that ball out in front of the receiver, and you're going to hold left stick to aim at where you want it to go, but you want to put the ball out in front of the receiver so that he doesn't have to turn around and give the defender a chance to make a play. But let me show you the setting that confuses so many players on defense. And that's going to be zone drops, because what you're going to notice is I was calling a lot of corner routes there against man coverage, and man coverage isn't the most reliable way to stop corner routes. But what we can do in our zone drops is set our flats to 25, our curl flats to 5, and then we are going to be able to, do a great job of stopping corner routes. I'm going to show you another way to stop corner routes here in a second, but we're going to set up a defense like this, a double Mabel coverage, right, where we're going to put our curl flats on 5 as well, and then we're going to put our slot corner and outside linebacker in a curl flat like this. And now what you're going to notice is they try to call flood concepts, a street corner flat. We're just going to be able to sit on that because we have our zone drops dropping the correct spot. Now, it's really not just corner routes, right? If you wanted to just stop underneath passes, simply having 5-yard curl flats on the field or 5-yard blue zones, I mean, you could custom stem this guy all the way down to 5 yards in your zone drops. Like, you could put your blue zones on 5 yards as well, but that's going to create the problem of, you're going to be able to take away the underneath route, right? Easy, that's an easy breakup, but then you leave the corner route open. So that's why I say zone drops, they're going to depend on the situation, right? You could also move your hook zones back to 10 yards, right? So, you could set your hook zones to 10 yards in your zone drops. Now that man is going to do a much better job right here, the slot corner, of dropping back and breaking up that pass and not allowing him to look up the seam. So bottom line, the best zone drop settings depend on what you're trying to defend. Are you trying to defend corner outs or underneath passes? Are you trying to defend the seam, or are you trying to, defend underneath with your hook zone? So zone drops change throughout the game depending on who you're playing against, what formation they're running. But if you just want to set them, forget them, default flats, 5 curl flats, default hooks is a good place to start. And I kind of hinted at it earlier, but there's an even better way to stop corner routes here in Madden 26 than what I just showed you. Let me break down what it is. All right, so the double Mabel coverage that I just showed you honestly can leave the middle of the field open a little bit more than you would like. And so if you don't have a good user, it can be tough to run sometimes, even if you're trying to just stop corner routes. But if we come back into our zone drop, another example of where you have to change the zone drop, we're gonna put all three of these on default because we wanna run match coverage. So in order to run any match-based play here, you have to make sure that you have all three zone drop depths on default. But I'm actually not going to call it match-based play. I'm going to call it zone-based play, but I'm going to add matching principles to it. So I'll show you what I mean here, where we're going to call Tampa 2. None of these zones are matching zones, except for the mid read, right? But as soon as we put soft squats on our outside corners, right? So we're going to put a soft squat on this bunch side cornerback, all right? And we're also going to man up their pull route. So what you're going to notice is they're going to call street corner flat. You have to man up the tight end flat route, or whoever is running the underneath route. You have to man him up so that your outside corner knows that that man's taken care of and he can just focus on the corner route. So you're going to notice how this is the defense that we have on this bunch side, and we're going to take this snap right here, and you're just going to notice how he's going to run that route for that receiver and break the pass up. That's honestly even better than the double Mabel coverage, again, because the middle of the field is closed off, right? We have our user over the middle of the field. We still have this hook over the middle of the field. We're able to take away this flat immediately. He can't even catch this pass, right? But then we're essentially running this route for this receiver sitting on it, and we're able to take this away along with taking away the streak. So it's really just a beautiful flow to our coverage that allows for us to take away those corner routes there. So that's really the dangerous part, but also understand that if you're getting beat with like this play, for example, with this S post to DJ Moore, that's why the double soft squat becomes very valuable from cover 2 match, because now what you're going to notice is this soft squat on the left side is going to follow this S post all the way up the field, right? And so again, set up the same way, everything looks good, and you're just going to notice how that soft squat runs with that S post to DJ Moore. And so now instead of giving up a post route against cover 2, we're sitting there taking that away. So really cover 2 match is the go-to defense, honestly, and should be ran more when you're trying to defend corner routes or just deep posts, really anything breaking deep, because again, you just take away their pull route, take away their flat. Our soft squat sits on their corner route, and then our other soft squat sits on their S post, which is honestly a pretty good route against cover 2 defense. So really calling cover 2 match, so a cover 2 base play, making sure you have all three zone drop depths on default, and then putting those soft squats on the field is going to be super, super dangerous to be able to defend those deeper passes. All right, so if you found those first 2 secret tricks helpful here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks just like this every single day for you guys. You don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my full ebooks on both sides of the ball, you can get it today for $5 off. The Jaguars and the Vikings bundle. It goes through the full video breakdowns, write-ups, screenshots, everything you're going to need to dominate on both sides of the ball here in Madden 26. And it's really a great discount. I guarantee to help you out. You can use code YouTube at the link in the pinned comment. Grab it today for 20% off. And let's jump right back into the video. Because this next tip that I'm about to share with you is the most important tip for passing the ball here. You can use the right passing settings, but if you don't nail pocket presence, you're going to be absolutely lost. Let me show you how to get better with it. All right, so we're going to call any play right here, and what you're going to notice is it doesn't really matter what play you call from any playbook. Anytime you're passing the ball, too many of you guys do this, where you drift too far back in the pocket and then you make your read and you're blaming the game for your quarterback throwing inaccurate passes. If you drop this far back in the pocket and then try to throw that pass to RB, also you notice how the zone defenders, they break on the pass way sooner because the ball's in the air for longer. So again, I'm drifting way too far back. Now, even if I go to throw this tight end route, you see how it's inaccurate. A wide open tight end pass because I'm simply drifting too far back in the pocket. What you need to do instead is take the snap, flick the left stick up to cancel your drop back, and then make your read. Also, you notice there how that time I took a sack because no one was open. So you don't want to force passes, but your sacks are going to be 2 and 3 yard sacks instead of taking like 15-yard sacks, which absolutely kill the drive. So step up in the pocket. I had my B receiver wide open, so certainly you want to hit your reads, but it's like, it's going to be so much easier for you to even throw these deeper passes down the field now because you're actually able to step up in the pocket. So you see how now this time I'm going to have my corner out wide open the sideline. I'm able to possession catch that ball, especially when you have high throw power quarterbacks. They're able to whip the ball through the air. The only thing you have to do is give them, like, just step up in the pocket. Then you notice how also you're able to get the ball to your receiver sooner. You're able to allow him to catch the ball in stride and turn into a big game. So again, another example, you have a drag route, hit it early in the play. And so then you're just able to, you know, pick up 7 or 8 yards on that play simply because you're not drifting too far back. I could have that same drag route open, but I'm drifting too far back, and now when I go to throw it, it's a red pass that sailed out of bounds, incomplete. So really you need to really work on flicking that left stick up on every pass play. It's literally just a baby tap. Take snap, baby tap it up, make your read. You see I'm under pressure right there, so I have to get rid of the ball quickly. If I was drifting too far back, I would panic, and I would probably throw an interception or make a really bad read. But the best way for you to improve your pocket presence, if you know, because it's not necessarily, it's muscle memory for me, right? But you don't want to have to be thinking about it. I would put the ball here at the 1 yard line here in practice mode, because if you drift too far back in the pocket, you're just going to be stepping out of the back of the end zone for a safety time and time again. So you have to take the snap, flick the left stick up, and then that's going to cancel your drawback, and then you can, you know, go about hitting your read. But even before you master the best settings, money plays, if you could call the best play, you could call literally the best plays in the game, but if you have bad pocket presence, I mean, it's just not even going to matter. So really, bottom line here, take the snap, flick the left stick up to cancel your dropback, and then go about making your reads on a play, because it allows you to play in rhythm on offense and not take those catastrophic sacks. All right, before I jump to those final 2 tips that you're absolutely not going to miss here in Madden 26, I want to remind you to go down below, hit that subscribe button. I'm the only one right now breaking Madden 26 tips and tricks down for you guys every single day. You don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But let's jump to those final 2 tips. And so if you've been playing online or in franchise leagues, I know that you've been getting destroyed by halfback direct snap. It's super hard to stop if you don't know what you're doing. Let me show you the exact defense to shut it down. All right, so we have them call halfback direct snap here. We're going to come into nickel 3-3 cub, or you can come into 3-3 penny if you have it in your playbook, because it really has the same alignment here. Also, 4-3 even 6-1 Samuel blitz is a good defense to slow this down. But really, this is insane, guys, because if you shift your defensive line towards the running back, so to the right here, and you stand basically in between the guard and the center, what you're going to notice is when you take the snap, you're just going to have the easiest gap shoot dive tackle. And obviously, if they have the ball at the 1 yard line, it's a safety, and safeties change games here. But even if they have it in the middle of the field, that's a tackle for loss every time, simply because you're standing in the right spot. So really, again, shift the defensive line towards the running back. So D-pad left, and then left stick, left or right, depending on which way you need to shift them to. But now you're just going to stand 4 yards over the line of scrimmage, so 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage and in between the guard and the center. And what you're going to notice is when you take this snap, you just have the easiest dive tackle. Now, in your settings, you want to make sure that you have heat seeker assist turned on with your window set to at least 100% so that you don't miss those suction tackles. Also, having a linebacker with better tackling will make this easier. He will suction to the ball carrier a little bit better, so you would probably just want to have your best tackling linebacker. But you're just noticing it how time and time again, I'm right there to make that play before he can speed boost. As you guys know, direct snap is so good because there's no handoff. There's no delay in him getting the ball. He can get up to the second level a whole lot sooner and make a play. And you have to tackle him before he can do that, before he can just go speed boosting away from your defense. So take the snap from them, and you're dive tackling in the backfield. You're either going to make the tackle or force him to cut back into a sea of defenders for you. So it's really just practice. It's one of the easiest defenses here in the game to be able to stop this. So boom, take it, and then you're just dive tackling him before he can speed boost away from you. But the best part, honestly, isn't even the direct snap, because honestly, a lot of people are going to see you once you start stopping it like this. You're shifting your defensive line, they're going to go to inside zone now. they're going to switch because they know that you're just going to stop their direct snap, and they're going to start calling inside zone. But what you're going to notice is you can set the defense up the exact same way, and you're going to stop inside zone every time because you're going to have your linebacker on the other side of the field. He's going to have a flame icon over his head, which means he's going to come in free. So again, we're going to stand right here in between the guard and the center, and there's going to be a flame icon over the head of Van Ginkel. And so really what's going to happen is if they call inside zone, we can loop around through the same gap anticipating direct snap, but then we're just going to be able to loop through and stop inside zone very, very easily. So, I mean, like, literally one of the greatest defenses I've seen to be able to stop the meta. I mean, this is the meta, guys, and I gave you the complete defense here to stop not only direct snap the main play, but also their switch up, their counter is going to be shut down. So, again, very simple. Shift the defensive line towards the running back, and when they call halfback direct snap, you're just going to loop around through that C gap right there on the edge. Boom. Just like this, and dive tackle him. If they switch to inside zone, your other linebacker on the outside linebacker is just going to come in free every time to stop inside zone. Super, super easy. All right, so like I told you, pocket presence is the most important thing to master on defense, but quick adjustments and making adjustments at a rapid pace is just as important on defense. Let me show you exactly why it's important and how you can get better with it. All right, just like pocket presence is applicable to any offensive play formation in the game, quick adjustments is the same thing for defense, all right? So really you have to get good with this. And so really what I'm talking about here is if you run a cover 2 defense against a trip formation, what you're going to notice is if they take the snap, they're just going to have that hole shot to X right there on the sideline for an easy completion, you know, given they have time to throw. So you can't run cover 2 against trip formations, and you can't run cover 2 against spread formations just in general. But you just notice how you're going to have DJ Moore wide open on the sideline. So if I told you, okay, they're in trips, you can't run cover 2, probably what you would do to change the play is you would click, you're just pressing random. Now you're onto your outside corner after 4 clicks after 2 seconds. Then you press A, and then you're going to press left stick up. You see, you look to make sure it's an outside third. Guys, the ball's probably already been snapped by now. And so now you don't have a flat over here on this left side. And so they can just very easily hit this flat right here because you're just playing bad defense. So you have to be able to make adjustments quickly, right? You certainly don't want to run cover 2 defenses against spread formations and give up pull shots on the sideline, but you want to be able to make adjustments quickly. So really the best way to improve with that is by mastering quick adjustments. So you're going to press D-pad to the right twice to open your linebackers, right? Then you're going to be able to click onto one of them and, you know, adjust his assignments. If you press Y or triangle twice, you're going to open the secondary adjustments. So you have 4 to 6 secondary players depending on the formation. Obviously, when you're a nickel, you have 5, right? And then if you press D-pad left twice, you're going to open the defensive line. So D-pad right twice, linebackers, D-pad left twice, defensive line, Y twice is going to be, or triangle twice is going to be the secondary. So really, now that you know those position groups, if I press Y twice, then I can get clicked on the X, put him in outside third. I can press Y twice again, then press LB, put him in inside third. I can press Y twice again, press Y for the 3rd time, and put my slot corner in a curl flat, and now I have a safer coverage over there on the trip side, a cover 3 defense. So, I mean, it's certainly muscle memory to be able to do it as fast as possible, but if we reset this play and we press Y twice, boom, and now I'm just going to do it, right? And it's literally under 2 seconds, under probably 1 second right there if I'm doing it at full speed, because it's like you don't need a whole lot of time to make adjustments on defense. You just need to master those, you know, position groups, but then also mastering, okay, once I get clipped into my slot corner by pressing Y 3 times, right? What adjustments do I make the most? I personally put my slot corner in a curl flat, in vert hook, and man coverage a lot. So I really have those 3 button commands mastered. I like to put my top safety in an inside third a lot. So I press Y twice, then press LB. I know inside third, I know hook curl, I know man coverage. For my outside corners, I like to put them in outside thirds, hard flats, cloud flats, and soft squats. So I have all, or really 8 custom zones. So I have all 5 of those button commands mastered. So really it just becomes, okay, position group, right? D-pad right twice, linebackers. D-pad left twice, defensive line. Y or triangle twice, secondary. And then once I get clicked onto that guy, what adjustments do I want to make, and how can I really build that muscle memory to make sure that I actually know which buttons to press so I'm not individually clicking onto guys and getting quick snaps, probably what you're doing right now. All right, so if you enjoyed any of those 5 secret tricks here in Madden 26 or found them helpful, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks just like this every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content I have. But if you want my full ebooks for the Jaguars offense and the Vikings defense, you want the full bundle to save $5, go to the link down below in the pinned comment today. You can use code YouTube to get 20% off the savings that are already there. It's really a no-brainer. It goes through the full video breakdowns, full write-ups, full setups of everything you're going to need to dominate on defense and offense. And if you want to see me run those schemes in a live action gameplay, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.